Hi, I'm Jeff Fargo, and before I began my fitness journey with Young for Life Wellness, I look like this.
Welcome to Fargo Talks.
Fargo Talk.
Fargo Talks.
This is Fargo Talks.
Well, God damn it, Kris. Thanks for having us over.
Yeah, thank you.
This is wild.
This is a new place to film a podcast.
I've never filmed a podcast in at a shooting range before.
I never have either. So
This first time?
Yes.
Oh my God, I love this. And we were talking before, my wife and I came and took, and this is shameless plug, but took your CCW class. It was phenomenal. Those things can be as boring as watching paint dry on a Chevy pickup truck. And your team that's here cares. Like they just give a shit. They kept very benign stuff engaging, and you wanted to pay attention.
Well, I'm going to need you to slow down a little because my instructors' heads are going to just grow a little too big.
They were great. And the first thing I want to talk about with you is because you run the show here, and when in doubt, I've always told people when I'm consulting businesses, look up every time. If something's going on that's good in a company, look up. If it's going bad, look up. Who's the supervisor? Who's that person's supervisor? What is it inside of you that drives that type of camaraderie and that people just give a shit that work with you?
Probably, I think because I give a shit. I give a shit not only about the business doing well, but I genuinely love and give a shit about, every single person I work with. And I feel fulfilled at the end of the day when everyone around me feels fulfilled. So, I mean, this is more than just punching the clock for me, for sure. And I would have to say that about every single person that works here. And I think that's something you can't put in an employee handbook. Like, you must give a shit.
Well, there's no way. How many regulars, what's your percentage of regulars that are constantly coming back here to shoot and work on their skills?
Oh, we have over 100 people that are just members, and they come all the time. And they're our little extended family too. I say the staff is one big happy family, but it's really extended into all of our customers too.
Well, some guy was just leaving and he turns around and says goodbye. And one of the girls was and mentioned him by name.
Yes.
And said bye. It was this is like being at Jackpot Jonies or PTs. What the shit?
Yeah, exactly. Which is really what we want to do. And that's kind of what we cultivate in that class. Yeah. I think we don't want to just, hand out CCWs. We want someone to be able to be so confident with their CCW. So that includes showing up and training.
I've taken my CCW class. This is the third time. And this is the first time that you had to hit certain metrics during the shooting. I've taken it somewhere else here in town that shall remain nameless. And I mean, maybe I scored well, but nobody in that class, everyone passed. Where there was one person in my class, and it's done so fucking respectfully, Kris, that they were like, you know what? If you don't pass right now, it's okay. We're going to hold on to your paperwork. You can come back as often as you want to. One of the instructors was like, I will personally work with you to help you out to become better. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So we all do that. If we have a class where 3 people don't pass, we'll all jump in. I'll jump in. I jump in all the time. I love to jump in. We don't just want to give you the paperwork. We genuinely want you, first of all, there's a legal aspect to that.
Yeah.
But secondly, we want you to do well and be confident. And, if you're going to carry in real life, you should know what you're doing. So we want to give that to someone.
It's awesome. All right. Let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
You ready?
I probably not.
You're not. Neither am I. It's okay. You once had a strong aversion to guns. Can you share the story of what shifted your perspective and led you to where you are today?
Yes, it's kind of a long, complicated story. But it's one of those things where you look at it and you go, this was meant to be, because there's no way someone could plan this out. So I was working in a corporate job that I didn't like. I also didn't like guns. And I was kind of looking for a new job, but not really, because I'm also stuck. And I think we've all been there. And this opportunity came up, but just working in their sales and marketing department. And so I thought, you know what? I'm trying to get out of this space and I'm offered this space. Why would I not? Like, I'm asking the universe for a miracle and it gives it to me. Do it. So I did it. I didn't go inside the range for over a month. So I stayed in my office. I would go stand in the lobby out there and I would peer into the range and be like, I don't know about that. But finally I got to know somebody that I trusted and he brought me in and, you know, I started shooting guns and I think I like secretly liked it, but I wasn't ready to admit it to myself and still never bought a gun. So fast forward, I worked here for over a year. I was going through some difficult personal things and someone in my family decided to travel across the country with weapons and stalk me and attempt to murder me. And that changes your perspective. Yeah. And the next morning, I purchased a gun. And it just kind of snowballed from there. A few months later, I took over all operations of the range. And it was very heavy to me that I didn't know much about guns, but I was in charge of operations. So I just started training and trying to learn as much as I possibly could from everybody around me. And you know, I have a lot of shortcomings, but one thing that I do well is I hire people that are smarter than me. Yeah. And that gives me such a great environment to be able to learn all these things. So
it's a horrible way to be motivated, but when you got your CCW, when you got your first firearm, how long was it until you started to take a class, work on it? Because there's so many people out there that own a firearm. It sits in a safe forever. They don't practice. They don't practice how to clear their house. They don't do any of that at all. I'm fortunate. I have a really good buddy that works for Metro. And he came over one time. He was so detailed what we did. It was, what if someone is in the back bedroom, it's your daughter, and someone has a knife to their throat? What if someone's in the back bedroom and it's your daughter and they have a gun to their head? Like, that's specific. I have no idea how much of this is going to get flagged by social media or whatever, but fuck you if it does. I don't fucking care. Go fuck yourselves. But my question to you is, you had that motivation, I think, out of fear.
Yep.
Right? So you get the gun, or you get the weapon. How soon then are you going into training, and what type of training did you take? And this is also for recommendations for people that are watching this and have a gun and just, it's been sitting there forever.
Yeah. Well, I was fortunate that even though I didn't own a gun, I was here and I was friends with some people that worked here. So I was kind of like on and off training here and there. So I already kind of knew what I was doing. And I found it very difficult to jump into training, especially being a woman and not knowing as much as I wish I did. It's an awkward environment to be in, but that's why. So we created something here to kind of answer that. We do one-on-one classes. We have male and female instructors, and it's one-on-one. And that's what I always recommend to everybody, because that's what I got, that one-on-one treatment, but it wasn't a product. It was something I got because I worked here. And so right away I realized I never would have made it where I am if I didn't have that one-on-one training. And that's why we decided, let's make it available to everyone.
How soon was it when you got your first firearm that you're like, okay, I need more training?
Well, I mean, for me, it was immediate because, you know, that person was released. Court wasn't for a while. At the end, I just got a restraining order, and it's not super helpful. So I had a very immediate need. But this is also why I tell everyone. I mean, it is so sad. I have women especially, but you know, everybody, that they'll come in here with like a black eye and they'll be terrified. And they're like, I have to buy a gun and learn how to use it. And having gone through, you know, thankfully I wasn't physically harmed, but I went through that same situation mentally, and I was very scared the whole time. And that's why I tell people, I don't care what you think about guns. I don't care like what your political stance is. I don't want to see you come into the range terrified to learn. So please do that ahead of time. Great. Do that now. Do it on your own time. Make an appointment. Casually come in. Pick your instructor. Pick your gun. But whatever you do, don't come in here terrified and kind of like with all this trauma. You don't want to be trying to make these decisions and choices after the event. You
That's
want
the
to do it
last
before.
thing you want to be doing is handling a weapon and you're scared.
It's literally horrible. And for us, it's horrible because they just went through trauma, so a lot of emotions are coming up through these trainings. And that's horrible. We feel awful for these people. So I think the best thing everyone can do is to get ahead of that. I think timing is important.
In the male-dominated industry of shooting ranges, how do you empower and support women, both staff and customers at Range 702?
That was a journey for me. When I started here, there was not many other women, and the culture was very different. And I will say too, every time I go to another range or go to like industry events, I'm reminded how different that culture is. I think it's one of those things where you said, like, look up. I saw this problem and then I was put in a leadership position. So I kind of took that like very seriously and decided, like, let's change the culture. Yeah. And we are able to now like reach so many women, which is so great. You've been here. You see, we have a ton of women working here. But it's also just the people that are here, I can't take credit for all that. There are such good people that work here. And I think that's the big difference.
I would encourage anybody that comes here for the first time to just come here and go up nonchalantly to one of the employees and just talk to them about anything at all. Questions about the range, about firearms, about, proper procedures, safety. Everybody here is very open.
Yes.
And you can tell by their body language and just how they carry themselves is super cool.
Yeah. I will say everybody here has a passion that they want to help people. They don't just, they're here doing their job. Like, yes, we all come to work. We all punch the clock. We have to do the thing we do. But I think every single one of us feels genuinely fulfilled at the end of a day that we are able to help someone.
How many people a day do you average come in here?
It's all over the place. And we do locals and tourists.
Yeah.
So we might have, like 50 locals, 50 tourists. We might have, 20 locals, 200 tourists. We might have 150 locals and only 50 tourists.
Well, it depends on what's going on in town.
Yeah. It depends what day of the week it
else,
is,
right?
So it's kind of fluctuating all over the place.
Okay. Being swatted is a harrowing experience. How did that incident unfold? And what changes did it prompt in your approach to security and operations?
Well, I'll first say this was 100% my fault. And security and operations, we nailed. Where I went wrong in this situation was I had some streamers that wanted to come in after hours and stream and shoot. And I had done this before. And I'm also very naive. And even though I have a social media presence, I don't actually know anybody on social media. I don't spend a lot of time consuming social media. So my dumbass let the wrong streamers in here. And I guess it's a thing with the kids nowadays. It's a thing to call SWAT while people are streaming to, like, it's a fun thing to watch apparently. Well, they did. They called SWAT while we were streaming. However, the response time was quite slow. So they called in that there was like a mass shooting here, which would be impossible because,
it makes no sense.
We're here. But anyway, Metro got multiple calls that this was happening. Between when they got the calls it was happening and the streamers left. So we were shutting the building down. My guys were actually back here in the range. I was up front and I was like closing the cash register. And then I look up and I have all these police pointing guns at me through the window. And they couldn't see me, but I could see them, which is tactically not great on their part. But they're all pointing guns at me, which I did not love. And I never really had police officers pointing guns at me before, so that was new. So I immediately put all the guys in the vault. I think there are so many times in life when men need to step up and take care of women. But I think when police are involved, it was time for a woman to go outside instead of a man. So I went outside, talked to them. I actually ended up knowing one of the police officers, which really helps the situation.
Thank God.
A lot. So it was only traumatizing for about 90 seconds. But man, those 90 seconds, I don't recommend getting swatted. it's not a good time. And also research streamers before you let them in their range. These are good lessons.
How long ago was this?
This was maybe like 5-6 months ago.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
but it's, again, we're all, as entrepreneurs, there's this thing of eternal learning curve
Eternal.
that we're on. Always.
Man, every day that I think I finally figured it out, I haven't fucking figured it out.
Well, you think you've got it, and then something comes up. You're like, God damn it! Why didn't I think of that? About that before?
It's almost every
Right?
day. It's almost every day. It's crazy.
With over 20 attempted robberies.
Attempted.
Robberies.
Yes.
How do you prepare your team to handle unpredictable situations, especially involving the homeless?
Yes. So we have a large homeless population right next to us and just in this area. So it's something we're always going to deal with. We have a lot of them are recurring, like we kind of know them. So we have to always be ready. And there, I think it starts sooner it's better to start sooner rather than later. So we have someone at the front door and they're looking out in the parking lot. And as soon as a lot of times we'll have people in our parking lot, and they won't come in, and that's great. But we are ready. The second they're in our parking lot, we're ready.
Yeah.
And we're ready for the worst. And we're also just ready to give them a water. So
Love that.
you have to be ready for everything.
Yeah.
And you have to, remain calm, remain humane, because sometimes they just need a water, and that's okay. We'll give them a water. But, while we're being humane and giving them a water, we have to be ready to go to war. And it just is what it is.
Well, it's hope for the best, but prepare for the worst.
Correct.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah, there's a reason that's a saying. Yeah.
Especially here, where you got a lot of guns
Yep.
and a lot of ammunition, and
Yep.
everyone here is carrying.
During COVID, we were the only ones with ammo within a good 5-hour drive. So we were having people come in from California, Utah, Arizona for ammo. Nobody else had ammo. And, from a business standpoint, that's great.
Yeah.
And we were also going, we're the only ones with ammo while crime was popping off everywhere. So there were two sides to that story. I'll also say we learned so much, in that 1 year of COVID. I personally learned more than I ever would be able to in 20, 30 years.
What were some of the big takeaways?
I think what you said earlier, just being prepared for everything.
Yeah.
Everybody says that and everybody thinks they do it. And then practicing it daily makes you sharp in a different way. Yeah. So I think that was my biggest, the biggest takeaway security wise from COVID is just, I think, reps. You really have to have these things happen to you a million times. You can always think you're never prepared enough. And all you can do is just keep getting sharper. And COVID just turned the volume up on that.
It's fight, flight, or freeze.
Right.
And you get tested really fast.
Yes.
Really fast. And it's something that you need to it's muscle memory.
Yep.
Right? Which leads me to my next question.
Uh-oh. I can just tell from your face.
Love this. I love this. Someone shot their finger off at the range. How did that incident unfold, and what lessons were learned?
This is the story I always bring up when people tell me that we're too aggressive and too safe and our rules are too stringent. I like to bring up the fact that they have all their fingers, and then I tell them they're welcome. Someone was doing something they shouldn't have, and this guy literally, his gun didn't fire, and he put his hand in front of his gun and pulled the trigger.
No.
And you can't be fast enough for that. There's videos all over the internet of me being so fast and grabbing guns away from people. But there's some things that that's superhuman speed, which we just don't have. So we didn't get there in time. You can see someone lunging at him, but there's some things that what are you going to do? It's great. We reacted great. You know, all our procedures worked very well, so that's great. But I mean, the amount of times we've had things happen that even though we're doing everything we can, you know, I look back and I go, man, we couldn't have done any, like, what am I going to do about that? You know, there's some things that are uncontrollable.
Honey, it's almost like before people come in here, they should be subjected to like a 15-minute psychological evaluation. Where they have to sit down with one of your employees who's been certified to do this, and they just talk, and it's videotaped, so CYA.
Yep.
And you just talk, and at the end you go, you know what? I think it's better of here's free cover into Hustler, right next door. You go right ahead and go over there and check out the girls while your friend's here and shoot.
You know what? We informally do this. We maybe without the strip club part.
Do you really?
We really
tell
do.
me more.
So when someone is, you know, you just learn, right? And like I told you, we're a family, so we've all been here for a while. It's nobody's first day, and we'll just kind of get this feeling. And usually it's called Call Kris. That's our emergency plan. It literally says it in the back, Call Kris. So then I'll go up there and I'll just start talking to them, and I just ask questions and I listen. And sometimes it's just like, oh, you're a weirdo. That's cool. Like, so am I. You can go shoot your gun now. Great. And sometimes, you know, conversation and questions and just listening, a lot can come out. So there's been plenty of times when I just am asking questions, and then, you know, a few words are said, and then I say, you know what? I really appreciate you coming in here today. You're not going to shoot today. And usually they tell me, oh, don't worry. And I say, oh, I do worry.
But that's your job.
Yeah, I will be worrying.
You're
Thank you.
you're the mama hen of everyone that works here. Anyone that comes in here to use the facility
Right.
is your responsibility.
Yes.
And so you know, heavy is the head that wears the crown, my dear.
Yes.
Right.
It's heavy.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's just something that people aren't aware of that. But the cool part is that, like, I don't know if you're hiring, but for anyone that's in this business, you really give a shit.
100%. Yes.
Right?
Yeah. I give a shit about the employees 100%, but I honestly give a shit about the customers too. I don't want you to shoot your finger off. If you're having a bad day, you don't belong in the range. And even if I never met you, like, let me sit down and have a water with you. I don't know. If you really need the free strip club, I'll hook that up too. Like, whatever you need.
For people that don't get it, we're right next door to the Hustler Club, which is one of the biggest strip joints in Las Vegas. So what a wonderful neighbor to have.
You know what? I will say Dean Martin, I think everybody kind of writes off Dean Martin like there's not much going on over there. But, you know, right here on Dean Martin, there's a lot going on.
Hell yeah.
There is never a boring day. Between our two parking lots, there's never a boring day.
Oh, if anything, you should like put a paywall behind your outdoor cameras so that people just like pay $20 a month just to watch what's going on between homeless people, drunk guys, like got dick on the sign, like all that is fucking hilarious.
There are just endless stories on strip club just catastrophes that we have, and it's so funny. Strip club and gun range just don't mix, and then also mix all at the same time in such a weird, wonderful way.
Tell me one story of how they mix, and tell me one story of how they don't mix.
Ooh, I think all the stories are going to be a little bit of both. I'll tell you one thing that's funny. I'm going to sell out all the guys right now. So ladies, listen up. This happens all the time. Men will come in here and ask to pay us to keep their phones here while they go to the strip club.
Ooh,
I know.
That's what my daughter calls spilling the tea.
I spilled the tea. Yeah.
Kris.
I know.
Oh, my.
Could sell that camera footage, couldn't I? Naughty little kids.
That's bananas to me.
Isn't that bananas? Yeah.
Okay, tell me another one.
More strip club stories.
Yeah,
Let's see.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. That's some tea.
Yeah.
So watch out. If your husband's spending 6 hours at the gun range, you might not be. We don't charge thousands of dollars either.
Oh my God. Really? I wouldn't. Yeah. That happens?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Huh?
So, all right, tell me a good, having a gun range next to a strip joint, neighbors, what's a good thing that comes from that?
Well, we have the same clientele, which is great. If they come from, dudes, like,
it's a great
stereotypes are true. They like guns and girls. I don't know. So that works really well for us. We share clients all the time. I will say it's a little easier for us to have the client and send them to the strip club instead of the other way around, because we do all the time get just groups of drunk guys coming in here. And of course, we have to deny them service. And of course, denying overly drunk people any kind of service.
Sell them a gift card.
Isn't usually
sell them some swag. Be like, here, all these t-shirts, wherever you want, you can do this, or give me your credit card right now. We'll get you a gift card, and then you can come back tomorrow.
We do that. Yeah, we do bring them back the next day.
Great.
But the interactions are always fun. The interactions are fun. And it's actually just as fun to see them sober the next day and have them be like, oh, sorry about that. We're back. But it's all in good fun. And I think, like, if you're going to work in Vegas, this is part of the package.
Well, that's the thing. And when this is the one city that you cannot say I've seen it all.
Right.
You just can't say that here.
No. There's more to come. Always. Always.
Brittany and Chiron just got back from Young for Life Wellness, and now they're glowing so much, I'm starting to look like a before picture in a moisturizer commercial.
Do you want some tips, Jeff?
I prefer sarcasm and good lighting.
What's it like dating in Vegas? And has your gun ever been larger than a guy you dated?
Yes. Well, I stopped dating in Vegas or anywhere, quite frankly, because of massive disappointment. So I've decided I'm just going to live my best single life. But before that, man, it's not great. Have you ever dated in Vegas, or have you been happily married the whole time?
I was married for 13 years.
Okay.
Got divorced in 2021.
Okay.
And was single for about 2 years and went through the whole Bumble, Hinge, Tinder, dating girls much younger than me, did the whole thing for a while. I was like, this is boring.
Dating girls much younger than me isn't boring, but
no.
Okay.
But it just
I like that part.
It was fun, but then it got like you could have Olympic style sex, but then it was just unfulfilling in terms of the conversations that we'd have, or lack of conversations.
Yes.
And so at the 2 years ago now-ish, my mom was in Tampa. Her health declined rapidly. So I was going out there every 2 weeks because that's when I'm not with my kids.
Yep.
So I was flying out every 2 weeks to take care of my mom. And I was like, hey, Bumble has a travel mode. So I did Bumble travel mode.
Okay.
And when I was wheels down at Tampa International Airport, bing, 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 bing. And it was women in their 40s, which is the horniest demographic walking the face of the earth, is women in their fucking 40s. And I went on a few dates with girls that were great, but then met my now wife that way. And it was from our first date. First date. And it was like, you're incredible.
Okay, so fly to Tampa.
Bumble.
Got it.
Well, it's that or, honey, Bumble travel mode. Because I was just like, the women here were so like, oh, dating here sucks. And I can't, or it was either that or I was into them and it wasn't, it wasn't being reciprocated.
Okay.
Or the other way around, they were down to have a thing with me and I just wasn't feeling it from them.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, I'm not getting any younger. I was 51 or 52 at the time. And I'm like, I'm branching out. And I just on a whim did Bumble travel mode.
Bumble travel mode.
And I've told everybody, I'm like, if you've already kind of farmed this area, start going to San Diego.
Well, that's why I stopped dating, because
go
I
to
was
SoCal,
like,
go to Phoenix, go to Scottsdale, like go to the East Coast, take a long weekend, go to New York City, go to Florida, go to Miami, go to Tampa. Like, we have wonderful cities here, and we just manifested. Brandy and I did long distance for a year and a half. And then this past summer, I drove her dog, her cat, and her at that time 15-year-old daughter across the country.
Well, we'll
to
see.
be here.
Maybe I'll just fly to Tampa. I don't know.
And here we are. But that's what happened, and I was like, oh my, like I would have never thought. And she's my best friend. Like, she's fucking best. And like, even Scott and I joke about it with Brandy. This has become an homage to my love for her. And she's like, you've got to stop talking about me on your fucking podcast.
Oh, we won't.
Just stop it.
No, I have never even met her, but I think I love her a little bit.
She's incredible. She's funnier than shit. She's from Appalachia, northern Georgia. So she has a deep southern accent.
Oh.
Right? And so you just want to curl up with her. And she's funnier than shit. Her and I eat our gummies every night. We're high as giraffe nuts. It's wonderful.
Oh, that's you know, I'm sold. I'm going to Tampa. That's
I think that do a little bit of research and ask ChatGPT. Like
ask ChatGPT.
Hey ChatGPT, be my dating advisor. This is the qualities physically, psychologically, financially I'm looking for in a man. Give me your top 5 favorite cities I should go visit to look for that man.
I'm not sure if I'm like sad or excited that I would have to ask ChatGPT for dating advice.
I think it's awesome.
This is what we've come to.
Hey, keep in mind, my love, years ago, you were looked down upon if you dated online. If you met somebody at Match.com
Trendsetter.
or eHarmony, how dare you?
Yeah.
You can't meet somebody at church? What's wrong with you? You're a retard. What's wrong with you? Fuck off. I'm proud that I used that, but also I would use ChatGPT when I was like messaging girls back.
Smart.
I'd be like, give me something kind of romantic, not overtly like I'm trying to get in their pants.
Wait a minute.
But I'm looking to,
Men of Vegas, can we please do that? Can you say that louder and slower? Yeah. Because man, these guys do not know how to communicate.
So here's the thing, and I learned this it was a clip I saw online from a woman. She said, and I'll never forget this when I was single. If a woman meets a man on a date, it could be the first date, second date, third date, whatever, and they vibe, and there's an attraction there, and they get along, the girl's going to put out.
Yeah.
The girl's going to want to have sex or some derivative thereof.
Right.
Don't try so hard for the physical part of the relationship. There's no need for that because the woman is geared and ready to go.
Right. It'll just
You just have to give her the right signs for her to feel comfortable enough to want to be intimate with you. For me, it was a woman in her 40s and my Journey Spotify playlist and my 3-wick Pottery Barn candle. Done.
Easy.
Steve Perry, please.
It sounds easy.
Journey? You fucking kidding me? Done. But it was, I learned also that if it didn't work out, I still stayed friends. I still have friends online through Instagram that we dated, didn't work out. We're still friends.
Right. Because you just didn't vibe yeah.
And now I'm happily married and committed.
Actually probably more friends through dating apps than I have anybody that I would be romantically interested in.
I just think that guys, it's their own insecurity. They try too hard is what happens. Where don't try so hard. Less is more. Get to know, fall in love with the girl's brain.
Oof. Maybe that's why I'm single.
Fall in love with that's my thing is, I'm like, I want to fuck your brain before I'm going to fuck you.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think that's where I struggle with dating. Most guys wouldn't throw me out of bed, but I find it so unfulfilling if I can't have a connection.
The line is, wouldn't kick you out of bed for eating crackers. I wouldn't kick you out of bed for eating crackers.
You have to add the crackers in the mix?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to give it some type of visual. Just for the visual, because the crumbs and everything else.
If I'm worth the crumbs.
Your ass crack, you're like, oh God.
Okay.
Saltines, really? So it's
Maybe
a whole
I'm
thing.
just going to start bringing saltines to bed just to see if they care. Just to
continue.
Check.
I cut you off. I apologize. Continue.
Well, I'm going to bring saltines to bed first of all, just to see if I'm worth it. But no, really, I feel like I'm just I'm tired and I just don't want someone that's only interested in me physically. And I also feel like there's enough people interested in me physically that I'm just kind of that's boring. I'm bored. I'm bored of that. I want someone that can make dirty jokes and laugh and be funny and be inappropriate and go do all this stuff and whatever. It just, I got to the point where I'm ugh, I don't want to be wanted just for looking good in a dress.
Would a man get on your radar if you went on a couple dates? He was witty. He was funny. There's an attraction there physically, obviously.
Right, yeah.
But he would send you dirty GIFs and memes and stuff like that, or funny ones, or inappropriate ones, right? Brandy sends me that stuff literally every day. So sometimes 2-3 times a day.
I think I'm more turned on by a man who's just funny and inappropriate than, the good morning, beautiful. Why are we still doing that?
I'd rather go to the dentist
I think
than
so
fucking
too.
get that kind of.
I think so too.
She does it with me. I get it every day, either through Facebook Messenger, Instagram, or she'll text me stuff, and it's either hilarious or inappropriate, politically incorrect because she's from the South. So it's the stuff she sends me I die, but it's like a little digital Hallmark card. Every time she does that, Kris.
So you're telling me to date your wife?
Basically, yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and I think she likes brunettes. So if that happens, I will take one for the team. If you guys want to go out, go right ahead.
Perfect. That's all I really got from the last couple of minutes.
She's
date your
fucking
wife.
hilarious. But it's for her to take the time. I'd never had someone do that before, because like went there for the first date, was awesome, but then like subsequently I was like, okay, this is nice, but she was like, look it, just so you know, like if you want me, you're gonna have to be with me. Like I'm selective. I'm not just gonna sleep with you to sleep with you. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that meant, but it meant making her a priority.
Yeah.
It meant I don't do anything now without thinking of how it's going to affect her.
Oh, that's how it's supposed to be.
And I never thought I'd have that.
That's awesome.
So it's possible, but you need to have a growth mindset in dating, especially in Vegas, because we're so transient here.
Yeah.
I've often said on the podcast, I've said it, coming to Vegas is like going to a wedding reception. You're going to have a good time. You're probably going to drink too much. You're probably going to do too many drugs. You're probably do something inappropriate with a member of the opposite sex or same sex if you want to. Whatever floats your boat. And then you're going to go leave and never think about it again.
Right.
Like a wedding reception. Well, what if you live here? What if your job is here?
Yeah.
You don't want to be with somebody.
Well, that's what I find on the dating apps all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like I stopped dating apps because I felt like 60 to 70% of the guys were not from here. And then they want you to like go to their hotel room and have sex with you. And I'm like, yeah, that really sounds fun. Like if I was on vacation, I'd want a pretty girl to come to my hotel room and have sex too. But like, I'm not a service. Like I'm not going to like service all these out of town men every weekend. And then they kind of offer like a cool hotel room and like drinks. And I'm like,
I've got
I can offer myself that. Like,
have you ever had, I had 3 times, never did it, but 3 times couples reach out to me.
well, I might make the trip down to the strip at that.
It was, I had at 3 different times, it was once a threesome, like throuple kind of thing. And the other 2 times were the guy just wanted to sit and watch.
Oh, okay. That's
and
fun.
I was like,
I mean, that sounds extraordinarily fun, but I still don't want to go down to the strip for that.
I don't for situational awareness. I'm like,
oh, in case they're sneaky.
I'm balls deep, literally and figuratively. And then what is, Johnny
Probably stealing your
Johnny
wallet.
Handjob sitting on on the sofa.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's not my cup of tea, but like good for everyone, good for
Whatever
good for
floats
you
your
if it
boat,
is.
man.
Yeah.
Whatever floats your boat. But my advice to you is look elsewhere,
Yeah.
my friend. And, give yourself a little vacation, take a long weekend, go somewhere, maybe put travel mode in ahead of time and
Ooh, set it up.
put in where you're going to be. And then you can start talking to people ahead of time and have 1 or 2 dates already set up for when you leave. And don't tell anybody where you're going and what you're doing.
Oof. This is sneaky. Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to consider it.
Go on a complete social media blackout. Don't post. Don't check in. Don't do anything. You go to nourish your soul.
Yeah.
How have you cultivated a distinctive work culture at Range 702? And what role does social media play in that?
Well, the social media aspect is tricky. It's a little tricky. And I will say I have not done perfectly all the time. It's another like live and learn situation where there's been plenty of times where I'm like, oh, I fucked up. Because social media is tricky because it's not cool or successful if it doesn't push boundaries. So it's tricky when it comes to the business. But I will say, I think our social media has grown because of our culture. So I came from a corporate environment where I was very stifled and I knew I was not living up to the best of my potential. And I was so worried about reports and making sure I didn't get in trouble and trying to do things like the right way and pacifying all these people and more reports. And I spent like half my time reporting what I was doing. And it was just like so counterproductive. And I was so frustrated all the time. So here, I know I didn't want that to happen. And I firmly believe that when you have this feeling of like oppression from the top, that you can't do your job well.
Well, there's no growth.
There's no growth.
Let your horses run.
None. There's no creativity.
Jesus.
Like, why do we go and, look for all these people that are so creative and have all these good ideas, but then we don't let them be creative? It's just wild to me. And even if we're telling them be creative, you're putting them in an environment that isn't creative. It's not conducive to being creative. And you're kind of like tying them down, like you said, with the wild horses. So we're like putting these people in cages and then asking them why they're not flying. It's crazy. So I kind of tried to create an environment that I wanted for myself. Like, I put myself in everyone else's shoes and said, like, how can we do this? And there's so many things that have changed because people are in that environment. They're in that environment where they're allowed to be creative and change stuff. Like years ago, I had an RSO who's still with us now, but I think he was only like 18 or 19 at this
RSO,
point.
range safety
officer. He was only 18 or 19, totally new. And he's studying to be a brain surgeon now. So he's smarter than all of us. Okay. And he like came and wanted to rearrange all of the magazines because he was like, I've been tracking how many groups we run of every single different package we have. And then I've been tracking every single magazine that's in all of these packages, and I'm going to rearrange them so we have to open doors less. And he literally mathematically I don't even understand what he did to this day.
That.
He like showed me the thing, and I was just, I'm going, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude, but I do know that you're way smarter than me. Go do it right now.
Off
like, go do it. I'm like,
it.
and he, he was so patient. He was trying to like, I was like a deer in headlights, like, huh? And he was trying to explain to me all these calculations. And I was just like, bro, I actually don't need to know your calculations. I know, like, I trust you.
Yeah.
Go do it. And we still have them in that same order because he was right. And he goes and changes them now and doesn't even ask me, doesn't even ask anybody else. Like, if he needs to change them, he changes them. He's always right. He's way smarter than me. I'm not going to like micromanage the boxes that we put the magazines in, And I think like that kind of environment is so important. And also knowing like Sally might need something very, very different than Sarah. And they both can have what they need and work right alongside each other, not equally, but just in this space that allows everybody to work to their best way. And that's hard sometimes to keep that culture, but I think it's so important. And I think that's where people grow. That's where people learn. We have people that have been here for years that started out on the very bottom. We have people that started with no experience. And I was like, you can go in the back and load mags and then you can sweep the range. And now they're like in a head leadership position. Yeah. And they might not do that in every job, but here they were allowed to do that. So I think it's so interesting that we spend so much time in corporate culture finding the right person, but then chain them down. It's crazy to me.
And the money that gets spent.
Yeah.
When I was a titer up here in town, I'm open about it. 2 different places I went to work for gave me a 6-figure signing bonus and said, we're going to let you do this with social media and all this other stuff. And nope.
Yeah.
Nope. I was screaming in a fucking echo chamber.
Yeah. And it's horrible. Yeah.
It's awful.
It's
honey.
Horrible.
It's awful. Who's the perfect person to work here? Like, what type of personality do they have? Who are they?
I think it's not that. I think it's the opposite of that. I think it's finding a team that all works together. So I think finding people that complement each other. I have on my management team people that are so different than me. And I think it's also having an environment where you can correct each other. I have my whole management team. There's not one person on my management team that hasn't corrected me. Multiple times, awesome. Actually, because I'm wrong a lot. But if you don't have the environment in which you can correct, your boss, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? So I think it's important to not look for that perfect person. In fact, I do the whole org chart hiring thing the opposite way than everybody does. Buckle up, okay? Instead of having an org chart and trying to fill a position, I just find people that I trust and that I like, and then I figure out how they fit into the business. So that's what I was telling you with before when you said you loved your CCW class. That wasn't a thing. Yeah. Like, we didn't have a CCW instructor position available. I knew Casey was awesome. I believed in him and then built something around him. And I think, imagine if every company did that. That would be, we would see outstanding growth. We would see growth that we've never seen before. Because what happens is people in a boardroom who usually have no idea what the fuck is actually going on in their business come up with an idea that they think is going to work for whatever reason. Yeah. And then they try to like smush people into that idea. Where like every human has something amazing to offer. Why don't we just let them fucking offer it? Like, why are we trying to smush them into this weird job description? I don't know why we do that. Like, that's crazy to me.
It's antiquated thinking.
Right.
Right. And to, like I said before, let your horses run.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're senior management or it's your first week and you're just like loading mags and sweeping up the ranges. You're open to someone who can come see you, good, bad, or ugly, and give you feedback.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Like
they can give me feedback and tell me I'm wrong. They can also say, I want to start this new thing. I can go, oh yeah, let's do it. And you know, part of having a small business that's so awesome is like, you don't have to go get it approved for like 5 years. Yeah. You can literally be like, that's a great idea.
Let's go.
You know what? We're starting that right now.
Yeah.
Like, and by the end of the day, you have like plans, and then the next day you sold it, and it's like it can happen so fast, and it's so rewarding. And I think like that's, everyone here genuinely wants this place to succeed.
Absolutely. That oozes from everyone's pores here.
Yeah.
Kris.
Because it's also them succeeding, because it's their idea. It's not the boardroom gives us this directive, and if we don't complete the directive, we don't get paid. It's not that. It's their idea. They have ownership of it. And if it's not their idea, it's their very good friend's idea. It's someone they love and respect, who they've worked with for years. It's their idea. So we want to see these things work. And that is something that you can't get out of a training manual. You can't have a memo sent out that we must do this. That's something that's special and different. And I think that's why this place succeeds.
It's something that you can't replicate that anywhere else.
No.
Like no one can come in here and copy that and apply it to another range here in town.
Yeah.
It would be impossible. So that it just makes your business model bulletproof.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
And it's hard to do. That. You know, I just gave the recipe right here, but like mentally it's a hard thing to jump over, especially like in leadership. You're kind of like taught in leadership to, this is the thing we're going to do. Now let's run with it and go and get everybody behind this initiative. And that kind of thinking is kind of like backwards and opposite, and it feels uncomfortable sometimes. So,
customer stories.
Oof.
Have you had an unforgettable customer experience that left a lasting impression on you?
I've had so many of them. That's such a hard question to answer. I think the thing that happens a lot to me that I love happens especially with women and children. And it's like heartwarming to me and proves I still have a soul. Is when someone is scared to shoot for whatever reason, or they walk in the range and then they run out crying, or whatever reason they don't want to be in that range. And what I love that I will never stop doing is to go talk to them and walk them through it. Usually I bring them in a separate range if we have something empty, and kind of like walk them through it, but in such a different way, and get them to, you know, shoot that gun and have fun with it. And of course, in such a way that's led by them. It's not forcing anybody to do it, but there's such an empowerment when you shoot a gun for the first time, especially when you learn how to do it right and you're hitting the target. And it's such an emotional moment. Yeah. It's crazy because you wouldn't think of this place as like this emotional place, but we have someone cry in here almost every day.
Oh.
Almost every day. Whether it's just like they're so proud and whatever, or, you know, whatever happens, there's a lot of emotion behind this because it's such an empowering thing. And I think that's like the customer experience that I've had with, you know, hundreds of people now. And it means so much to me. I can be in the middle of something very important, and if I look over and see it happening, I will drop everything and run over there because, you know, that's something that like, that's a memorable moment for them. And I honestly just feel like lucky to be part of it.
That's sweet. What personal growth moments stand out the most since you've been here?
Oof, I've had so many personal growth moments here. And for me, you know, a lot is said about like working in a male dominated field, about a women doing that. And it's almost said in this like way that's kind of negative about men, like with this connotation of like, you know, we have to work in this male dominated field. But I have to say, one of the things that has just made me grow so much and made me such a stronger person is working with all these men who are really fucking strong and really smart.
Yeah.
Their standards are so fucking high. Like I cannot fuck up. And you know, even though I'm the boss, there is such a like, I hate that they're going to see this. Can we like block them? I want to like live up to their expectations. Like I have and you know what? This is probably why I have a hard time dating here, because the men that I work with, I respect them so much. They treat me so fucking well. The bar is high. Like the bar is high. That is actually probably a huge reason why I'm not dating, because like, if you want to be a man and come into my life, you have to level up to all these men that I work with who I love and respect. Like, good fucking luck. They challenge me in this crazy way that just makes me have to grow. Like, it makes me have to grow.
You've got like 8 big brothers.
Yes, which I'm the oldest girl, so I never had that before. But yeah, I do. I have a whole bunch of big brothers, and like I don't want to disappoint them.
What a great introspective moment for you, though, to say, I'm here in my life, and everyone I surround myself with is here or above that.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to let someone in my life romantically for a relationship, you've got to be here or higher.
Yeah. And you know what? It's probably like not fair to them, but like in my head, I really do compare men that would try to date me to these guys I work with. And like these guys I work with treat me extremely well. You know, I mean, they challenge me. Like when I'm wrong, they totally call me out. Like they've challenged me a lot, but really they do treat me like, you know, that big brother. Like I'm treated very, very well. And to then go on a date with a man that can't do that, I'm just like, goodbye. Like,
but honey, I think that and give yourself some grace that absolutely whoever you're with should be at that level.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. Why would I accept less, really?
Fuck them if they can't, like, but my wife hasn't touched a door. She's maybe touched a door 4 or 5 times since we've been together. I hold the door for her.
Yeah.
I do all that stuff for her.
All those simple
like,
little things.
I treat her like
yeah.
a lady. Like that's just what, this is what you do.
Yeah. There's like one thing that just always sticks in my mind. So we have a job that like nobody likes here, but we all have to do it. It's a schedule. You have to like go do it an hour a day. It's called like the trap shift, right? So whenever we get busy or if something happens or whatever, I'll go jump in trap and let that person go do something else. It's like all the managers do this to help. I cannot go sit in trap for 1 fucking minute without one of these guys. Oh, let me come get you out of there. And I'm like, no, I'm helping.
How dare you?
I'm part of the team. Let me do this.
I'm just as good as you, goddammit.
Let me put my time on. I can do it. They all know I can do it. They treat me so well. And it's like,
it's awesome.
It's so funny.
That's
the
awesome.
other day, a guy missed his lunch break. So I jumped in trap to be like, hey, go take your lunch, dude. I got this. I think I was in trap for like 12 minutes and I had 5 different guys come to tap me out. And I'm like, guys, I'm going to be fine. Like, but it's like if I don't have that in a relationship, like if I have that all day at work and then I go home and don't have that, it's not going to work.
I'm going to get you with my wife and she'll give you great advice.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now.
I need it.
What misconceptions about gun ranges or gun owners do you aim to challenge through your work?
Oh my gosh. Let's go. How much time do you have? So many things. I think like for me, the first thing is that it does not have to be politically motivated. Like gun ownership should not be a political issue.
Absolutely.
Everyone should have the right and ability to defend themselves. That's like crazy to me that it's made a political issue. I will never get over that one. That one's crazy. Also, there is still like such a stigma with women and guns. It's absolutely bizarre. Every single day, I'm not kidding you. Every single day, I get asked if my gun is real. I will be
Really?
every day. Every single day, I'll be standing next to two men, and they'll look at me and go, "Is your gun real?" And I'm like, "No, mine is fake. Theirs is real." Like what?
Wow.
So, excuse me. There's still this like weird stigma and I don't get it. Today, I was in the CCW class that you went through. I walked in just to say, hi, I'm the GM. How's it going? Whatever. And a guy goes, man, your holster's like really big. It looks like something out of a movie. And just, they all kind of start commenting on my holster. I was wearing the same holster as their instructor. The exact same holster. And none of them, and I was like, did you guys ask him that? And they were, huh? No, what? And he goes, it's the same holster. So I think there's still like, I think we're just not used to seeing women with guns. And so I don't want gun to be like a gender related thing. In fact, I always say, take a moment and imagine this. What if every single woman in the entire world carried a gun? The world would be a totally different place.
Absolutely.
Totally different place. So I really want gender to like get out of the equation with guns.
I love that. Where do you see Range 702 in the next 5 years? And what innovations are on the horizon?
Ooh, fun. Well, what we're working on right now is just getting a bigger piece of the pie when it comes to tourism. Tourism is down, so we don't like it when our numbers go down. So that's our big goal this year. Every year we have like a big goal. CCW, growing CCW was last year. This year it's back to tourism. We kind of like flip-flop back and forth. I think, you know, being in Vegas, it's really hard to have long-term goals because Vegas fluctuates so fast. So for me, just kind of like learning what the new thing is and jumping on it has been super important and successful in Vegas. And every time that I think like, oh, I think I'm, you know, last week, literally, I was like, I think I have a good plan for this summer and the rest of the year. And then like something else popped up. And, you know, you're in Vegas and I think that goes for the whole Vegas market, but especially tourism. It changes so quick, not only just who's coming, when they're coming, but just the way the strip operates.
Do you think, and this is a more of a Vegas related question as a follow-up, are we gouging people?
Is Vegas gouging people? Absolutely. And while Vegas gouges the tourists that come here, they're also killing the businesses that rely on those tourists coming here. So Vegas is gouging itself, quite frankly.
I've been here about 15 years, and it's shocking to see what's going on. Like to go to Caesars on the weekend to valet is $50.
It's insane.
$50.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. And it's changed. Think how much that's changed. So I've only been here 11 years. But I mean, just in the last decade, Vegas went from being like the cheapest destination vacation in the entire country. Like that's what Vegas was. Before I lived here, I didn't like Vegas. And I only ever came here because it was so fucking cheap. I'd be like, oh, fine, you know, but I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But why have we become one of the most expensive? Like, why did we have that such a massive change in such a short period of time?
It's awful.
It's crazy. And I don't know. I wish I could sit down like this with the people that are doing it and be like, what the fuck are you thinking? I guess they just want their, pockets filled immediately.
It's what we talked about this before. They're managing to a P&L.
Right.
And so they want to charge more because they can make more because more people are coming here, but it's going to backfire.
They have to really only be thinking one quarter at a time. They can't be thinking like, can you ask them the 5-year question, please? Like, what the fuck?
I really should.
Yeah.
I really should. In what ways has social media played a role in shaping your team's dynamics as well as the range's public image?
It's so much, like 10 out of 10. I'll say right now, for the last couple of years, it's absolutely shaped who we are as a team because I don't have to try to hire people anymore. We purely hire because people know who we are in social media and they want to work here. And to all those people, I'll say social media is a very small percentage of what we do. There's a lot of hard work involved too. I think it looks more glamorous on the outside than it actually is. All the time when people come in, they're like, "Oh, you actually work here?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's actually all I do. I spent 6 minutes today making a video, but I worked 10 hours. So I think we're more real than people think we are. I think, you really see the raw us. We are not coming in to like film content. We have our phones just like you. We set it up against a water bottle, we are very raw when it comes to that. But I think that we are ahead of the times when it comes to social media. I think it should be next year, but maybe in 10, 20 years, a lot more companies will be doing what we're doing. And I think it's really, really stupid and short-sighted that companies, especially here in Vegas, like, why is every company not doing what we're doing? It's crazy to
Fuck
me.
'em.
Like, do you know how much marketing costs? It costs so much. And social media is our number one reason that people walk in the door. It's the number one reason people walk in the door. And who else would tell you to come to a place other than someone that works there? Like, it literally can't get more raw and real. Like, it cannot.
What's something that we haven't talked about that you want to get off your chest and talk about or share?
I will tell you, without the team I have right now, I wouldn't even be working here. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't even want to come to work today. I wouldn't want to come to work tomorrow. I truly love these people. You know what? We all spend every fucking second together. The way you know that we are a close team is that we're only closed like maybe 4 or 5 days a year. And you know how we spend that time? Together. We are closed for the Super Bowl. And we put the Super Bowl on a big screen in there and moved all the couches out there. And we all watched the Super Bowl together.
That's great.
We're closed on Thanksgiving. Everybody was at my house.
Oh.
And that is like, man, when you have to be with somebody like 350 days a year and then you go choose to spend those other days together, that says something. We struggle covering each other's vacation because we all go on vacation together.
You really?
So yes.
Hilarious.
Yes. There's been so many times where like we had a Hawaii trip. I didn't get to go. I had to sit my ass here and cover for like 4 people. It was rough. But you know what? Great. If you work with the person that you also choose to go to Hawaii with, fucking awesome. Like, if that just means that I'm short-staffed for one weekend and I'm like kind of tired at the end of the weekend, that's worth it to me. And also, like, I love those people. So I want them to go to Hawaii and have a great time. So I'm happy to cover for them. And we all are. We all cover for each other. I'll come in an extra day and cover. I got you. You go do that. That is like, that's just like that's so priceless. I think every single person that works here could probably go get a better job making a whole bunch more money. And none of us want to. Yeah. None of us want to.
Your family.
Yeah.
Your family. It's your people.
Yeah. And I know every job says that. We're like family here. Like we're closer than family in some cases, I love that. Thanksgiving was us. So
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
For taking the time. I knew this would be good. I didn't know it was going to be this good. of a conversation.
I had like such a good time. Such a good time.
This is awesome. I
Yeah.
think that we'll be doing this again very soon. If any of y'all, if you enjoyed this, I'm not going to say fucking like and comment and subscribe. Fuck you. But if you want to see us do this again, if there's certain people you'd like to see come on and have a conversation with Kris and myself, drop it in the comments. Maybe you might see that person here.
That would be awesome.
Right?
That'd be so fun. I can think of
do
people
that.
that want to come back.
We could.
I want to do this
that.
again. Yeah, and I want to set this up again. This is awesome.
I love this. Well, this is Scott Vera, level 9. If you're in Vegas and you want to shoot a podcast, shameless plug, Scott Vera, level 9 Studios.
There you go. Yes,
None better.
please. Yeah.
None fucking better.
I love it.
He is the Yoda of podcast production.
Yoda of podcast. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT what to say to him and slide in his DMs. See, I was listening.
Oh my God, I love it. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you so much.
Good stuff.